Okay, so to get started, I'm going to be taking my NYX eyeshadow base, ESB01. You guys know the drill on this. I'm just going to be setting my eyelids, getting ready for some shadows. I'm going to be working with a lot of colors today, so that's why I chose the white base. Now I'm going to be taking my Morphe 350 palette, taking the white shade, and I'm just going to be setting my whole eye where I put down that base, just so that it doesn't crease or anything like that, especially when you're putting colors on top of it. Now I'm going to be taking this warm orangish shade. This is the lighter of the orange shades in the palette, and I'm just going to be buffing that into my crease area, and this is with an Echo Tools brush, blending brush, and I'm just going to basically do windshield wiper motions just to get a really good transition shade down. And I felt like this was not as harsh, so that's why I went ahead and used it. And I'm just going to keep blending that in until I get it pretty well blended out. And I'm going to go in with a little bit more just to deepen it up a little bit, just to add a little more definition and just to make it a little more vibrant. This just always helps to do it in layers. Now I'm going to be taking this orange shade, and this is just a straight orange shade in the palette, and I'm just going to be going right on top of that lighter orange shade, and I'm just going to be blending that into it. Like I said, the transition shade is for this purpose right here. This just helps the blending process go so much more smoothly, and it just really helps when you have that other shade underneath it. And so I'm just not really concentrating it anywhere. I'm just going in and blending it out. Next, I'm going to be taking this dark, like burnt brown shade, I guess. It kind of reminds me of Saddle by MAC, and I'm just going to be taking that on a crease brush, and I'm just going to be popping that into my crease and my outer V area. This is just going to give it a little more definition. Now I'm going to go in with a bright orange shade again, and I'm just going to go on top, just smoke out that crease a little bit more. This is just going to make it a little more vibrant, a little more, just a little more defined. Now I'm going to be taking this chocolate brown shade. Don't mind me singing. I tend to do that when I'm doing makeup. And I'm just going to concentrate that on top of that other outer crease shade just to add more definition, just to keep blending it out. This is just going to add a smoked effect to the look. And yeah, that's what I'm going to just keep adding layers and layers and layers until I get the look that I'm going for. Now I'm taking this burnt red shade. As you can tell, I'm literally using all the burnt, like reddish orange shades that there is in this palette. It's crazy. And I'm just going to be patting that on my inner corner, like lid area, and I'm just going to like smoke it into that outer part. Now I'm taking the bronze shade. Like, this is kind of like a coppery shade. It's got a little bit of shimmer to it, and I'm just going to be concentrating that on the center of my eyelid. And now I'm going to go back in with that dark brown shade, and I'm just really going to define that crease a little bit more. I'm being a little more precise with it than I normally would be, just because I kind of want a sharper crease area. So I'm just taking it on my crease brush, and I'm just kind of concentrating it on that outer V area just to get that real smoked out effect. Now I'm taking a clean blending brush. This is by MAC, and I'm just going to go over everything just to get it really blended out. This just diffuses it a little bit and just really gives it that real smoked out effect instead of being so harsh. Now I'm taking my Wet n Wild H2O waterproof eyeliner, and this is actually in brown. I have not been able to find it in black, but when I do, I'm totally getting it. This is a really good liner. I picked it up the other day at Walmart, and I'm really impressed with it. It's very hard to get off. It is waterproof. So what I'm doing today is doing a little bit different technique with my liner. I decided to do both eyes with no wing, and then go in and do both wings at the same time. It just makes it easier when you're trying to pair them up. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just working on the wing, pulling it out as far as I want, and then I'm going to drag it back in, and that just really makes that wing really sharp, really defined. Yeah, you can cut someone with this wing. It's so intense today, but you also can follow your shadow, eyeshadow, and it really helps. Now I'm taking this L'Oreal mascara, and this is like the feline one, I think. I'll link it below so you guys know what I'm using, and I'm just putting a coat on. Now I'm taking the Boots number 7 photo ready or photo finish primer, and I'm just applying that all over my face like I normally would, and I'm doing it in downstrokes so it really fills in those pores around my nose and my cheeks. That just really helps with it. And then I'm also going to just like really be pressing it into my skin. Now I'm taking the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation. Yes, that bottle is freaking filthy. I don't know why it always gets filthy, but I'm just going to dot this all over my face. Take my my e.l.f. Foundation brush that I love, and I'm just going to be blending all of that in. I know it looks a little bit light right now, but it really does match me, I promise. Once you get everything else on your face, it really just makes a huge difference. And this foundation is really, really, really good. It's really good for photos. It's really good for oily skin girls. So if you're an oily skin girl like me, this is a really good foundation for you, and it's full coverage on top of that. So that's my little spiel on the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation. Now I'm taking the Kiss lashes, and I did put those on off camera because I totally suck. Now I'm taking the LA Girl. This is that Pro Concealer, but I use it as a contour, and I will link the shade below. I believe it's Fawn. It's like the perfect contour shade, so I'm just going to be doing a cream contour today, and I'm just marking all the points on my face that I want to contour. This just really helps you map out where you need to lighten and darken. Now I'm going to go in with the light shade for my highlight, and I'll link the color of that below as well, and I'm just going to highlight all the points of my face that I need to highlight. I'm going to go in with some MAC Fix Plus. This just really helps it blend easier, because sometimes if you let it sit too long on your face, it becomes a little like set, I guess. Like it just really gets hard to blend out. So it dries, I think is what I'm trying to say. It dries, so you just go ahead and spray a little bit of that on, and it helps it blend out. And I really think it does help it blend better. So yeah, I know this looks a little harsh right now, but once you get everything else on your face, I promise it will look fine. When you first do your contouring and stuff, it looks a little crazy. And yeah, so just be sure to blend out really, really, really good. I believe I'm using the e.l.f. stippling brush. This is the smaller one, so that's what I'm using to blend out all of that contour. And I know this process takes quite a while to do, but when you do the cream contour and highlight, it really does pay off and make the whole process like look so much more realistic, I think, and it's just not as harsh whenever you get it all blended out. So that's why I really do like cream contour and highlighting, just for the fact that it does look more natural, except for right now. So that's why I usually like to do that if I have the time. So anyways, I'm just going to keep blending it out, making it all very seamlessly work together. This highlight shade's really good because I've got really dark bags under my eyes right now, and it's kind of a pinky oranger tone, so that will cancel out any darkness that I have under there. So that's why I went with this shade today. Like I said, I will list it below. I believe it's like classic beige or something like that is the color. But like I said, you really can't go wrong with these LA Color or no, LA Girl, sorry, LA Girl Pro Concealers. They are just so pigmented, and really they do remind me of the MAC Pro Longwear concealers. Like seriously, they're so pigmented and creamy and just awesome. So like I said, keep blending it out. I know it takes a little bit more time, but it really does pay off in the end. Now I'm going to take my Maybelline Fit Me, this is the Matte and Poreless foundation powder, and I'm just going to basically set my entire face with it, just because it helps blend everything in so there's not any like harsh lines or anything like that. And like I said, the highlight is a little too bright, so this really does kind of tone it down a smidge. So that's why I like to go in with the powder and just literally just brush it all over my face. Yeah. Now I'm going to take the e.l.f. HD powder, and I'm just going to go right on top of everything else. This just is an extra step that I like to do to really give me that flawless complexion that I like. This just helps me not to be oily throughout the day, and it just really does help your skin to be smoother. Now I'm going to be taking the NYX highlight and contour palette, and I'm just taking that shade that I pointed at and I'm just going to go over that cream contour. This is just to deepen it up a little bit. I like to go over the cream contour with a powder contour or bronzer or whatever, just to deepen it up a little bit more. And this just kind of gives you that bronzed out effect, and I really like that. Now I'm taking this other shade because it's a cooler tone. I don't want to put that warm brown shade on my nose just because it looks really weird on your nose contour. So I like to use a more neutral shade for my nose contour, just because if you do a like warmer shade, it doesn't look realistic. Like you can tell that you did that. So I like to do the cooler shade. You can do whatever you want. It's just whatever. I'm being lazy, so I'm going to take this palette, the Morphe 350 again, and I'm taking a brown shade, and I'm just going to darken my brows a little bit. Anytime I do really dramatic makeup, I feel like my brows need to be darker. I don't know why that is, but I feel like I don't look, like the look doesn't look complete until my brows are a little bit darker. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just darkening them up a little bit. Normally I would use my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade, and that's what I had on before I darkened them. And so this just, I don't know, I'm just weird like that. I like to darken them a little bit more. Now I'm taking this Metals lipstick from NYX, and I don't know the name of it. I'll link it below. This is so pretty, and I can't wait to use it in a tutorial where I actually put it on my lips. But I decided that I wanted to use it kind of like a eye base for the next shadow I'm about to put down, because it's real tacky, and I think that when you put a glitter or something on top of it, it'd be so pretty. This is by for Makeup Forever, and it's just like a kind of a bronzy, like glitter looking stuff. And I just put that on top of it, and it really does allow that metallic to shine through, I think. So that's why I did this. I really didn't expect it to turn out that pretty, but it really, 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 really surprised me, and I was so stoked. But I'm going to take the same color, and I'm going to brush it along my lower lash line just to really smoke that out. I think that anytime you have that real smoked out look on top, when you match it on bottom, it just really brings out your eyes, and I just really like doing that. Now I'm taking the BH Cosmetics Carly Bible palette. I love this palette, and I'm going to take her highlighting shade, and I'm just going to pop that on my inner corner area just to really brighten it up. As you can see, this highlight shade is like everything. It's so stunning. I wish I could just bathe in it. I'm going to go ahead and highlight my brows just a little bit. You can tell it makes a huge difference. Just putting on just a smidge of this stuff. It's just so pigmented. I can't even get over it. But I'm going to highlight my inner corner, my brows. I'll do my tip of my nose. I do an exclamation point. If you're wondering how I highlight my nose, that's normally how I do it. On the tip of my nose, it literally looks like an exclamation point. And as you can see, once you do the highlight on your nose, it really does bring out your nose, and like it brings that contour to life. I feel like it doesn't look done until you do that. Now I'm taking this NYX, I think it's like a glittery like blush. I'll link it below. And I'm just going to put that above the contour just to give me a little more pinker cheeks. Put on some more mascara, you know the drill. Now I'm going to line my lips with this Milani, I don't know what this is called. I think it's like Roses or something. And this is just a lip liner. And I'm just going to line my lips to make them a little more fuller, a little more even. My top lips are a little bit thinner than my bottom lips. So, bottom lips, what? Bottom lip. And so I like to exaggerate my lips just a little bit just because I do not have like super big lips and I do need a little bit of help in that department. So it's not a bad idea to overline your lips if that's what you are looking for in a look. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just taking a shade that's kind of pretty neutral. Since I'm maybe going in with a dark red, you really won't be able to see it, but it kind of gives you a outline of where to put your lipstick. So that's kind of what I do. This is kind of like my mapping out. Now I'm taking this gorgeous like dark red from NYX, and I'm just going to be putting that on. As you can see, it's just so pretty. It really is a stunning color for fall. Like, I just love this color. And I'm just going to put it on like I normally would. Like I said, the liner really does help make it more even and precise. So that's why I like to line my lips before I put it on, so I can kind of map it out and I know where to put the lipsticks. Now I'm going to go in with this Essence Plum shade, and I'm just going to deepen up that crease like just a smidge. This is really just an extra step that I took. I don't know why, I just saw it sitting there on my desk and was like, I need to put this on. So that's what I decided to do with it. Now I'm going to go back in with the Carly Bible palette, and I'm just going to take that highlight again, and I'm just going to highlight my cheeks. Yes, girl. Do you see that highlight? I can't get over it. Like, look at that. Oh, it's so beautiful. So I'm just going to highlight my cheeks. You know, and then I'll highlight above my brows just a smidge, just to really make that face pop. Yes, girl. Like, I can't get over how gorgeous it is. But this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. Don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.